Johnson here. This is 372 pages we'll never get back. This is a podcast about bad books. I am here with Conor Listoka. Conor, are you there?
I'm there. I'm here. I'm there. I'm everywhere. And you said bad books? I mean, that's how it's played out so far, but you never know. It could be the next book we pick easily could just be a masterpiece, an overlooked gem.
I did misstate the premise, and it is an important distinction.
We never know.
But you are correct to call me on it. The premise, of course, is not a podcast about bad books, but rather about books we do not expect to like.
Exactly, yeah.
That's a huge distinction.
It's much catchier. It's much more appealing to the many executives we've pitched this to, trying to get them to buy it. They say, no, if it was about bad books, I can sell that. But a podcast about books that you do not expect to like, that doesn't roll off the tongue. I'll pass.
Yeah, right. It's the putting the up with which we shall not put, books up with which we shall not put.
Perfect.
Guys, that's not saucy at all. That's not spicy. So we don't care, though. We could sizzle that steak, but we'd be selling out.
Exactly.
Out.
Please let us sell out, God.
We're going to stay. We're going to stay independent as hell.
They are. They shot my horse at the track yesterday. It's not.
Old Gil really needs a podcast.
But it has borne out. It has borne out over the course of 18 books that we've read. There have been none that have, there have been a lot that we've enjoyed, but none of that we would consider that we would go to the mat for as a good book, that are up there with your Pulitzer Prize winners, your National Book Award winners, nothing like that.
It hasn't been a case that I have ever, I have to admit, I have not finished one of these books and then gone to, say, a dinner party or something and said, clink, clink, clink on the guys. I just need to take a second. I'm sorry to interrupt, but and I've never done this before, but man, I read this book called Shadow Moon. I gotta tell you, you gotta dig into.
Everyone, look under your chair.
That has not happened. Not to a single person have I recommended any of the books.
We are 0-18, but maybe that will change as we have picked a 19th book, and we're gonna tell you what it is after we dick around for about 20 minutes here. because I made a game. We made a game. This is one of our more popular features here, where we read some Amazon reviews. And this is a twist on that, because usually there's a review that you'll read me and we'll guess what the star ranking was. But this time around, I'm going to read you a review, tell you what the star ranking was, but you're going to have to guess what the product was.
Oh, okay. All right.
And here's the twist. All the products are books that we've previously covered on the podcast.
Oh, boy. All right.
So you're going to have to, remember what these books were. I didn't pick one for everyone, but I picked a lot of them. And then you're going to have to guess based on what the description was. You can call up the list if you've got it.
I was going to ask if I could call that up. Yes.
Yeah. I'll send it to you. 1 second. But yeah, you can consult that. It appears that the About section of our website has not been updated since book 13. So
okay, that's great.
But so there'll be a few that aren't on there, but we can track how you do on this, and the listeners can of course play along with us. And at the end, we'll get to the book reveal.
All right, sounds good.
All right.
So this is not, just for those out there nitpicking, not a double-blind test. No. Not even single blind, because I will know what the products are, or at least I have a list of them. Mm-hmm. But I will point out that you and I both have participated. I know you've done more than just this one, where a beer tasting, or I've done it with scotch, or you get 5 things or whatever, and then you know what the 5 things are, but then you just have to identify which of those 5 things you're tasting. And even that, once you have it taken away from you, the knowledge, you go in all cocky, like, oh, please.
Right.
I can tell the difference between a rye and a regular bourbon whiskey. And then all of a sudden, I don't know.
I think this one's vodka.
It really, you get all sweaty and everything. So I'm nervous, I'll admit.
Well, and this might be too much information. I'll reveal that there are no duplicates. So every book only comes up once.
Okay, perfect.
So that will help you. Let's kick it off. Here's the first one. It is a 5-star review. And so obviously there are, for some of these books, there are 1-star reviews about how bad it is. There are also 5-star reviews about how bad they are. So I mean, you can,
sure,
but you'll surmise which they are from this 5-star review. One of the most rare pleasures a reader can encounter: complete novelty. It's not that it's a well-written book; it's anything but. However, this book explodes with the audacity that only a new author can bring to his subject.
Trucking Through Time.
It is Trucking Through Time. Yeah. The 5-star review that just says "buy this book" as the subject line. And that, I think, was the only review for about a decade before we covered it.
Oh, I think there's something about that sincerity of,
yes.
that came through on that. Okay,
yes.
So that was an easy one. Starting easy.
The next one is also a 5-star review.
Okay.
What is remarkable is that this book still packs a punch 20 years after publication. In a fast-paced world of next generations, the author gets major kudos for staying relevant. The story is well-developed and fast-paced. Good writing makes it an easy winner. Great pickup for the beach or airplane.
Tech War.
No, I'm sorry. That was a 5-star review, fast-paced and fun, for Digital Fortress by Dan Brown.
Oh, no.
Well-developed story. Staying relevant 20 years after publication with its tales of 90s hacking.
Okay. Pizza.net, still staying relative.
Yes. And that appeared to be entirely sincere. Here's a 1-star review. Imagine there was a 3-page book outline. No details, no setting, no flavor, just who is going to talk to who and vaguely about what. Now maybe there are a few character backstories thrown in, nothing huge, just past events and family members. Now instead of writing this book, working out the characterization, plot, dialogues, and whatever else, write one boring chapter that tells the audience that these things are happening rather than depicting them.
Oh, wow. Huh. That's tough. That applies to a lot.
It's very, it's a Rorschach test at this point in time.
My Immortal?
No, I'm sorry. That was 64 Squares by Dwight David Thrash.
Oh. Read again about character things?
Yeah. Instead of working out the characterization, plot, dialogues, and whatever else, write one boring chapter that tells the audience these things are happening rather than actually depicting them.
Wow.
I mean, yeah, it's sort of the same thing. But that no details, no setting, no flavor is pretty, that's accurate. But again, could apply to a lot of the things we've covered.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. All
right. Here's a 5-star review. Genius, whilst not exactly overrated, has its limitations. This book was written by an anti-genius who has produced something so mind-bogglingly dreadful that it provokes actual tears of laughter. Never before in the annals of human literature were so many adjectives deployed so artlessly, so inappropriately, and so jaw-droppingly.
Well, I'm assuming that's Eye of Argon.
It is Eye of Argon. Well done. Yes.
Good.
That one's a little less ambiguous, but that has a lot of positive reviews, I would say, as it should.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Here's the next one. 5-star review. Great writing. Loved the storyline. Interest was held. Read book in a day.
Well, that's not Shadow Moon, I can tell you that.
Yeah, that would be impossible.
Interest was held. Interesting.
So I should say, the great writing, love the storyline was the headline, and then interest was held, read book in the day was the entirety of a review.
Well, I'm going to go back to Tech War then.
I'm sorry. No, this was the 5-star review for The Quilters Push Back, the Miranda Hathaway cozy mystery. And that has a healthy subset of unironic positive reviews, ironic positive reviews, and very negative reviews after we covered it.
Well, I mean, we unearthed that world of they used to call it log rolling, right? Where you just I'll praise your book, you praise mine.
Yes.
It's just an endless loop of praising books, and then you jump to the next one and praise it. Yeah. So
I should say that Zachary Schatzer, our Riff Tracks contributing writer, just yesterday published his own Cozy Christmas Murder Kindle parody.
Really?
Yeah, I'd say he did a parody of Christmas, cozy Christmas stories, which I started reading yesterday. It's very spot on.
Oh, fantastic!
So yeah,
wow.
we might have to have him on to talk about what he delved into in that world, because I have no idea if he listens to what we do over here, and he might just be exploring it on his own.
He's like, "You do what now?"
Here's the next one. 2-star review. Our first 2-star review. A bunch of things happen that you don't care about because you don't care about any of the characters. They have the most basic dialogue and interaction. It's the same level of conversation you'd expect to watch in an episode of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, but with cursing sprinkled around in some attempt to punch it up.
Well, Bob Honey Who Just Do Stuff?
Oh, I'm sorry. No, this was a 2-star review of Armada, Ernest Cline's follow-up to Ready Player One.
Weird.
But you know, I mean, you could easily see that applying. Yes. Definitely had the cursing to try to be edgy. You certainly don't care about any of the characters.
I forgot. I don't. Armada and Ready Player One are so interchangeable in my mind.
Yeah, that's the whole point.
I cannot remember.
That's why it was insane that Ready Player One made the best year-end best lists. But
yeah,
Armada's the one with the insanely hot mom, and I believe the first appearance of the Long Fingers.
Okay. All right.
And the subject line of that was, read it because you read Ready Player One and want something similar but not at all good.
That was the guy who worked in the video store, or in the game shop, the GameStop or whatever.
Yeah, he was a high school
right?
student. Yeah, maybe. Yes. He worked at a comic book store, and there was that game room in the back or something.
Yes.
Yep. Next one is a 3-star review. It is apparent from the get-go that this is a poorly written story. The plot and characters are passable enough, but the author is incapable of good description.
Again, Rorschach. The Mister?
I'm sorry. No, that was Irene Isley. Yeah, it's bad was the headline.
Oh, wow. And yet one of our most enjoyable books, I think, reading experiences.
Absolutely. That one had another mix of them all types of reviews. 1 star for this one. Takes every opportunity he can to beat you over the head with the woke bat in case you didn't get it the first 10 times. Just tell a good story. I don't need your politics or a lecture.
Oh, wow. Well, that's not Bob Honey. I don't think that was in any way considered woke. In my list, I don't have the last few books that we did, so I can't. Either that or it's Ready Player One. I don't know.
It is Ready Player Two. It is Ready Player Two.
Right. Okay.
That seems to be that to read that book and to come away with that as your complaint is quite a thing. The subject line of that was utter tripe.
I noticed that a lot when we were doing that book, that was a complaint on it. It's like, I guess
it's not seeing the forest for the.
It's like being served a bowl of gruel and noticing that one of the this one is kind of slightly overcooked. Right, this little nugget of it.
It's an odd fixation. I loved the last one, but man, it seems like something is anyway. The small portions and not enough of it type of thing. I sent you the link to our playlist so you can see the last couple books that are on there. So
thank you.
It did cover. There we go. What's the next review? 3 stars. There's some action, but a lot of exposition. Generally speaking, the book is pretty decent, and if you're looking for something to read here and there at lunch breaks or in the airport, it's perfect. You'll have no problem putting it down, but it's got enough interest to get you to pick it up again.
Oh, boy. Airport, pick up, put down, possibly Midnight Sun?
That was 3 stars for Tech War this time.
Okay.
Backdated future detective noir. Imagine seeing someone reading Tech War at the airport in this day and age. That would be amazing.
Oh, and then he pulls out the phrase, "Did you tumble to that book as well as I did?" And then they give each other a wink.
Yeah, since it's well known and people say that to each other. Here's the next one, 5 stars. It is heavily metaphorical, and many character outcomes are implied rather than made explicitly clear. If you want a book that spoon-feeds you plot points and crams the thoughts of what every character is thinking at every minute of the story, this is probably not for you. Yes, you will have to pull out a dictionary. That doesn't have to trigger you. Learn a new word.
Whoa.
Yeah, coming out hot.
Who would that be on our list? I don't recall anyone. I mean... Bob Honey?
It is Bob Honey, yes.
Okay.
With the subject line, fun read for the intellectual daring.
Oh, God.
So potentially, was it written by Pon Shen or something? I didn't take the author name.
Wow. Learn a new word?
Yeah, it's like, that passive aggressive thing. This is on you for not knowing Penn's deep vocabulary here.
Was that the complaint about his prose? Was that he was pulling H.L. Mencken on us and pulling out the dictionary? I don't think that was the problem.
All right, we got 4 more here. 5-star review. No other written work has come anywhere close to this. Not Tolstoy's War and Peace, not the King James Bible. It is a privilege to read a work that will no doubt be required student reading in the future, and a foundational work in which surely new areas of study will emerge.
Okay, so sarcastic. What was the one reportedly written by the teenager?
My Immortal?
My Immortal? I'm going to say it's My Immortal.
It is not. It is a sarcastic review, yes, but it is of Moon People by Dale.
Okay. Well, that's coin toss.
Yeah, subject line masterpiece. That pretty much only has ironic reviews. That's like the 3 Wolf Moon shirt of books. All right, this one is 4 stars. This is one of those rare books that makes you regret having to read the last page because you just want it to keep going. I think the source of that phenomenon is excellent characterization, which the author does excellently. An excellent plot and a brilliantly conceived fantasy world.
Sarcasm? Hard to tell. Trying to remember who used that, but I'm going to say Model Land?
Unfortunately, no. That is about Ready Player One.
Oh.
That book, well-known book of excellent characters, an excellent plot, and a brilliantly conceived fantasy world of goods and workers and lag.
Wow. But that could apply to Model Land if someone were to like it.
Sure, yeah. I mean, at least those characters had... you could the friend group, whatever it was called, the friends. At least you could describe their different characterizations as opposed to the Mary Sues of Ready Player One.
Right. Squirting, laying on the floor, squirting whipped cream into your mouth is a well-known character trait. We all identify that.
There was another one that was great of a mom who read it talking about how much she liked it and how much her 12-year-old boy was going to like it, and then how disturbed he was when he came to the humping a lubed-up sex doll scene. She said he doesn't even like to watch movies with kissing, and so this really threw him for a loop.
Well, yes. Wow.
All right. This is a 3-star review. 3-star review. As a short summary, I would say the first bigger half of the book was pretty good, but near the end it started getting a little too weird. I got a bit annoyed because it was a bit too weird and cliched. I think I'd read it again to see if I thought it was any better, but 3 stars is all I'll give it for now.
That's a tabula rasa there, right? That's just a blank. I don't know. Started out good. Shadow Moon?
It is not. It is of Model Land.
Oh,
I thought the first half was good, but then it got too weird.
What?
Out of the gate is her, squirting whipped cream in her mouth and tripping over her feet, and her dad in a saggy singlet. But she really, I guess, Hunchy showed up, and she started being like, this is not for me anymore.
This is going in some strange directions now.
But she might read it again to see if she thinks it was any better. That's
Good Lord.
Stunning thing. All right, here's our last one. It is and that 3-star review was subtitled, I Kinda Liked It. So I guess, that's 3 stars. This last one is a 1-star review. I applaud the effort. I like looking for diamonds in the rough when stumbling on a new writer who has gone the self-publishing route. But writer, please read the reviews and heed their advice. Do yourselves and readers everywhere a favor and take this book off the market. Rewrite it, change the title, and try again. I wish you the best of luck.
None of them repeat, right?
No.
These are all different? Mm-hmm. We had Moon People. We had 64 Squares. We had Truckin' Through Time, right?
Yeah.
We had Eye of Argon.
We did.
Who else is self-published? We had Quilters.
Well, the answer is that our new author, our new book right here that we're doing here, that is an excerpt from the one-star review. And I guess we can come to it now because that is a one-star review subtitled Punctuation is Your Friend of Antigua, the Land of Fairies, Wizards, and Heroes by Denise Brown Ellis and Larry Ellis, a husband and wife authoring team here.
Yep. Very excited that you took the commonplace called Antigua and turned it into a fantasy land.
It makes it extremely difficult to search for the book, but fortunately the subtitles of Land of Fairies, Wizards, and Heroes also does not provide a lot of clues when you're talking about a fantasy world, because those are three things that you pretty much expect to find in any given fantasy world.
Does anything else in the book... Because that strikes me as funny to call it Antigua, the Land of Fairies. Because then it's like Voraltar, the dragon?
The great dragon Voraltar with two R's at the end.
This is going to be, just by the way, a minefield of pronunciation.
You thought Ogden and Irene were tricky. Yeah, it's so. Let me just read you some of the description, because this is one that we've known about for a while, because I don't know how it turned up, but it seemed like absolutely a book that's going to be perfect, because so it starts off, the description says new fantasy book available. So I'm not sure what's going on there. That's sort of like your Mystery Science Theater 2 Get website headline. Mm-hmm. But it says the inhabitants of the land of Antigua have been tormented and threatened by the evil sorceress Gwyndeth and the great dragon Voraltar for as long as they could remember. The sorceress Gwyndeth vowed that if the three kings and the inhabitants of the easternmost, westernmost, and southernmost provinces didn't bow down and serve under her rule, she would destroy them all. The three kings vowed that none of the inhabitants of their kingdoms, which included gnomes, wizards, centaurs, and knights, so breaking some new ground there, would ever bow down and serve the sorceress. They vowed that their armies of knights and archers, right along with the other inhabitants of the land of Antigua, would fight the sorceress Gwyndeth, the dragon Voraltar, and the sorceress's armies of goblins, trolls, and black panthers until the end. Their only hope was a prophecy that stated a child from the other side of the waters of Antigua would cross over into their world and lead them into battle. So all of those sentences, as we've covered before, end with an exclamation mark.
Wow, fantastic.
So it seems to be, there's not a lot of information about the authors, Larry Ellis and Denise Brown Ellis. It claims that Denise was a nurse. I don't know what Larry's deal was. They've written one other book, which is very sadly out of print because it looks like to be a real hoot as well. It's called The Adventures of the Teen Archaeologists in the Land of the Mopek.
Wow.
And we'll see if we can track it down because it seems just as good. There's only 2 reviews on Amazon, but it seems like the authors were pretty new to the game when Amazon let you start self-publishing books on Kindle.
Yeah.
And did not take a lot of the early criticism of this well. I have no idea how word about this got out, but there's reviews that allude to the authors lashing out at their critics, much in the style of Amanda.
Where are they lashing out?
I couldn't find it. There wasn't in the comments. It's one person said, the TV Tropes Wiki claims she wrote a 5-star review of her own book in which she lashes out at her critics and at anyone past puberty who still reads fantasy literature, but it's apparently been deleted from Amazon. So maybe if someone's got archive.org skills, they can dig that up because I need to know what that had to say.
Man, we got to get a hold of that. Yes. Yeah.
But it does appear that they did take some of the criticism, acted on it, because we discovered this yesterday when the paperback arrived at my house. And you always like to read the Kindle edition.
Yeah.
So we have that. but we also got the paperback because I like to take notes in it. And I opened it up, and I was like, I read the first page of this on Kindle. It seems to sort of start in media res here. And I went back, and the paperback has substantial changes made to it from the Kindle edition, which is still up on Amazon.
Like how much? What percentage has changed?
I would say that there's at least the first paragraph of the book, the Kindle book, cut out, and she seems to have dialed back on the exclamation marks in the paperback. So the paperback starts with Vorultrar come and burning a village. I mean, sorry, the Kindle one. The paperback just starts with, when Vorultrar was done burning the village, he flew back to the northernmost province of the land of Antigua. So it's very more artsy to sort of start that way. Like you're not telling or showing.
Do you think that before doing this, they said, should we? They probably had they were driving to a wedding or something. Like, all right,
Small
let's
and
talk
intimate.
about the book. Yes, thank you. We're going to, let's spend $75 for one of those online editors. And it's like, $75 will get us a real quick pass at the book.
Oh, yes.
And then they sent it to the person, and they, sight unseen, was like, I'll give it, an hour.
Right, I'll take a machete to it, yeah.
They opened it up and went, oh, God. And then they just struck, like, the first scene, and then they just did a find and replace on the exclamation points, and that was the end of it.
It's possible, but I think it's going to be a fascinating exercise to sort of read some of this stuff in the Kindle version and then go back and see if that made the cut in here.
So it'll be like unwrapping the papyrus scrolls that were found in the caves.
Yeah.
And seeing how they compare to the earliest known vellum sources of the scripture.
Comparing translations of the Odyssey,
Yeah, all right.
It's going to be, we've never had anything like this. And although it recalls me back to that ebook we found of Armada, where there were very slight changes, where they changed the dodecahedron to just a decahedron for some reason.
Puzzling.
So we'll see what happens with there. But I think we got to go with the Kindle version as canon, because that's the one that all of these reviews are about. None of the reviews have pointed out that the book has changed.
Oh, well, interesting. Well, then we have to go with the, okay. And that one is, I assume, longer.
It is, unfortunately. But that's, it's the director's cut.
It's their, yes.
They just did it not in the fashion that usually happens.
Right. This is, okay, so this is their vision.
Yes, that's the true author's vision. This is a watered down for the masses. It's like that Bob Honey review. It's like, well, if you needed a dictionary, this is the review for you, you plebe.
Wake up, sheeple.
Yeah. So, but there's also a hardcover version on Amazon that is like $28. So I don't know. I guess we could take the plunge and buy that. Maybe someone else there wants a fancy version of it for their bookshelf, and we can see if that starts with Vorultrar either burning the city or having just finished burning the city.
I've got it up right now. I'm gonna order it live.
Wow! All right,
let's do it. Let's do it right now. Ships in 3 to 5 days.
Okay.
All right, so it'll be delivered before Christmas. It looks like. Okay, let me see here. Should I upgrade the shipping and get it earlier, or just all right. So anyway, I got the hardcover coming.
All right, they're gonna be very, very confused about what's about to hit them. I'm guessing with the orders.
Well, we should point out, of all the things that because we've investigated all the self-published people, make sure we're not making fun of or causing undue stress on some person. And instead, we've poured money into their coffers. I would assume, not us, but you, the listener, has. No one has reached out to us and said, right? Not a single person. You'd think there would be an email like, weird, all of a sudden I noticed my book. Thanks, guys. I know you're making fun of me, but,
Yeah.
Nothing.
It's just it's bank error in your favor, essentially. It's or one of those schemes where some guy, Venmos you $500 and is like, oh, can you just send that back to me? That was an error. And, but he cancels it or whatever. They must just assume that happened. Like, hey, my ship finally came in.
Oh, hey, I have an update live here. I'm on Amazon. I've never seen this option before. I could choose to pick my book up in 2 days at the Amazon campus location.
What?
I don't know what that is.
Well, that sounds like a honeypot scheme or something.
I'm looking at it. Oh, it's at a Whole Foods.
Oh, interesting.
So because they own that, yeah.
Well, that sounds like it might be shipping then quicker. I mean, if you're...
No, I can get it in 2 days. So yeah,
pick it up in person. Maybe they'll have some comments for you, as if it was a bookstore where they're like, "Oh, I've heard good things about this. This is the OG version."
You're gonna have to go through the Whole Foods line. Like, I'll have to do like the kid buying the. I'll take these magazines, razors, a little package of condoms here. And, sir, what is this? Can I get a price check on Antigua, the land?
I just wanted the organic eggplant. Let me just give you a few of the reviews here, since we did that earlier. But we have a sarcastic 5-star review that says, "All in all, I believe your book rules almost as much as the tunnel snakes." So I assume that's a reference. Mm-hmm. It says, "Buy this book to read on a plane or a long journey," so it fits in with that description of Digital Fortress and TechWar from earlier.
Sure.
It says, 1 star. "As easy as it was to laugh at this book, I felt it was easy to be angry at how Gwendevier's cat is written."
Oh. Well, that hints at something exciting.
Yes. So
a poor characterization of a cat.
That is. So it has that in common with the Quilter's pushback. A cat plays a major role. Silver lining: a second book doesn't exist. It does advertise. Part 1 is part of the book title. 1 star reading. "To its credit, the book does entertain, just not in the way the authors wanted it to. At times, it's like a B-rate movie, so bad it's hilarious." 1 star review from 2008. So this has been somewhat known for a while. I don't know how people found these, but it has 20 some Amazon reviews. "There is a crazy exuberance to this terrible novel that is almost endearing."
Wow.
So that's good. 1 star. "Quite frankly, the worst book I've ever read in my entire life. If I was rating this book based on the amount of laughs I had out loud as I read this book to my family as means to entertain ourselves, it would be a 5 out of 5. So there you have the Eye of Argon and Irene challenge. Just based on those things, you can never tell whether people are just like, "This book is hilarious, you guys should do it." But all signs seem to point to this being a real treat to immerse ourselves in the world of, especially since it seems so similar to the world of Shadow Moon with the dragons and the centaurs and all that, but just in a completely different style.
Yeah, a rewritten Shadow Moon. The world was looking for that. Here's a review from, this is also from 2008. Maybe it was the same one that you had. "After suffering through all 307 pages, in which there are no chapter breaks and only sparing paragraph breaks, I did a little experiment. I gave the book to my younger sister's 11-year-old friend.
Okay.
Without comment, to see what she thought. And then, curiously, we got a call from her the next day saying, 'What is this, a joke? Did some 3-year-old write it?'"
Wow.
That's actually an exact quote.
Man.
So anyway, that's an odd thing. I gave the book to my younger sister's 11-year-old friend.
Yeah, maybe the sister was already just like, do not put that one in my room. And then the sister's friend called. That's funny. I'm going to believe that's like the kid who's watching TV and is like, "Mommy, why is that man so angry?" This did not happen. This is an invented child.
"Right away, my cab driver said, 'You nuts up in Congress. Why did you come?'"
The ultimate example of that, I'm sure you do not know what this is, but the woman who said that when Ruth Bader Ginsburg died, like the day after Chadwick Boseman, when she told her 8-year-old did the Black Panther salute and said, "Ruth Conda forever."
Oh my God. File that and did not happen.
Absolutely. If you have an 11-year-old in your life, make sure you could pass that around. Maybe if young Billy is still listening to this podcast, he'll be able to weigh in. But I think it's going to be quite a journey. I'm extremely excited. Again, I don't remember when the first time we discovered this, and I put it in a survey or something like that. But it's been a long time coming.
I saw the survey. It was up there. It was, lower than some, but it was up there. There's some interest in this. I'm excited by it. I think we have to pledge, if the readings get long, we'll speed things up, and we don't want a Shadow Moon thing happening again.
Yeah, but we'll see how this reads and where the humor is, but we will certainly. We don't want to try anyone's patience, but hopefully this won't be one of those type of books.
I think it's got a real Jim Tice vibe about it, so we'll see.
I'm very curious what the hardcover looks like too. If it was just like this, illuminated book with those books that have like the gold foil on the ends of the pages.
Well, I will. Maybe Bridget and I will take a trip to the Whole Foods, and we could tape it, and I'll tape the picking up of this.
Yes,
book.
Yeah, I would like to. Yeah, they must have some sort of locker system where you can open it up, and so that'll be you can be like the teen archaeologist venturing into the cave to get an idol. You'll be exhuming the book from the Whole Foods.
The light coming out of the locker. Yes.
It turns out it's some guy's drain snake. They put the wrong package in your thing.
5 stars. All right. Thanks, everyone.
All right. Good times.
Looking forward to the journey.
Yep. Talk to you later. Bye.